in life and society today, we've gotten too comfortable with quitting. And everyone wants to start things, post about it on the internet, and talk about their new endeavor to their friends. But the reality of it is, getting what you want in life and any type of goal or sport or business or family, it takes a lot of hard work, and things don't always work out the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th time. They work out the 100th time.
Welcome to the Fuel Hunt Show.
What is going on, Eagles? Welcome to the Fuel Hunt Show. I am Drew, joined by my cousin and co-founder, Joey Digital. Joe, how you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. It's actually happening. I'm losing my job.
Yeah.
It's actually happening.
So people will notice we are dressed alike today, and I did tell Kara and Dane, who both commented on it, that you are one of my first role models in life. So it's going to happen. So people just get used to it at this point.
I mean, scary thought that I was a role model of yours, but yeah, it's the overshirt. Like, you can't beat a nice overshirt.
And
I want to make a Fuel Hunt overshirt soon.
We're working on it as per our meeting yesterday when we talked about maybe some flannels and
sky's
some
the
elevated
limit.
casual. Our
Sky's
dream
the
is
limit.
actually coming true.
I know. A lot of hard work.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we didn't start out to actually make T-shirts. So we probably, if we had our way, we would be an elevated casual brand.
Yeah, more than likely. Also, I mean, yes, we got the elevated casual going, but also the beanie's back. Did you notice? Yeah. The beanie's back. It's been a while. It's been a whole season, 2 seasons.
That's the frustrating part for me because, I mean, as you know, I like to spend a lot of time outside, and I was on my walk with my dog last night. I posted on my Instagram story, but the walks just don't hit the same when they're not in the sunlight and it's cold and dark.
Yeah. I enjoy both, man. I get you. The sun hitting your skin, charging you up. I love that.
But I did
feeling.
say grateful for them nonetheless. Always grateful.
Yeah. I went on a very cold, very dark ruck with one of the few, Trevor, last weekend. And it was nice. Man, it was nice. Seeing, like, walking in the frigid temperature. It was, I say frigid, but it was freezing. It was 32 degrees.
Yeah, it's cool.
In the dark. And then, through the point in time when the sun came up, it was nice.
I forget, I don't know who coined this quote, but
Fuel Hunt.
A lot of things can be solved by just solidarity on a walk,
Yeah, walk in the woods.
Solve a lot of your problems.
Solve a lot of your problems. Just take a walk in the woods. That's why I love hunting so much.
Yeah.
And you get to kill some, but yeah, it's a walk in the woods. But anyway, I got the beanie back. It's back today, so I can't wait to see the comments. People were easy on me over the fall and winter last year, right? With the beanie, but I did get some comments. You know what I mean?
We did hear from Ant, our brother-in-law, or my brother-in-law, your cousin-in-law. Some of his guys, they don't understand. They don't understand the fisherman beanie, but like those are the people that don't understand style.
Listen, I'm
right?
bringing small beanie energy today. That's what I'm bringing today to complement my other energy. The few energy is what I'm talking about. The few energy. Yeah.
All right. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different than our usual banter or interview. It is actually inspired by, and I'm not a fan of the doom scrolling, but my son Parker and I are currently infatuated by these guys. Have you ever heard of the Costco guys?
No. I didn't know who. I didn't know
you
who.
know the Costco guys? The Costco guys on Instagram.
Costco, like the store?
Yeah. So it's a guy and his son. Car, do you know the Costco guys on Instagram? The boom. Yeah. All right.
Listen,
so it's a guy. If
the dudes lived after the Renaissance, there's a chance I don't know them.
Okay. All right. So they go around to different eateries. They started in Costco.
Yeah.
And they go into different eateries and different places, and they say like
Costco food.
eatery,
like they were eating at the grill
it
at
all
Costco.
started with the son like the chicken bake and the dad like the double chocolate cookie. And,
okay, all right.
So they like say the doom or boom scale, and everything either gets a doom or it gets a boom. And
where are these guys from? I need to determine if I like
New
them.
York, New York.
East Coasters,
Florida, but
wait a second. Wait.
Well,
New York or Florida?
They sound
the
like
same?
they're from New York, but
they live maybe.
I believe they're in Florida.
Okay, well, I'll look them up.
You'll get a
some
kick out.
point.
I'll send you one of their reels. They are they're just like it's not like actual enjoyment. It's like you watch it and you're just like,
Here's one for you. Have you ever seen the oh man, it's a guy. I don't know the name of his account, but he does the Asian dad outfits in Costco.
no.
Oh my god, they're hilarious. Now I have an inside track on that because Melissa, obviously, but
you would get it more than that.
I get it more than most. But like he breaks down their fit. It's like a fit check at Costco, but he looks for like older Asian dads. Oh, it's hilarious.
That's good.
So I'm guessing it's kind of the same type of
A little bit. No,
entertainment.
This is more cringe
for
watching.
real?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now that they're like putting out songs like we bring the boom, dude, you're gonna go down this rabbit hole. I'm telling you. So anyway,
so maybe I'm not gonna do this.
They do this doom or boom thing.
Yeah,
and
that's catchy. I like it.
It inspired me to do an overrated, underrated episode.
Okay, all right. So shout out to the Costco boys.
Fuel Hunt Lifestyle Edition or Hustle Culture Edition, etc.
So what are we gonna do? Like work or wine? What are we gonna do? We got like a doom or boom thing or no? Work or jerk?
See, your mind, when I was developing this list, your mind goes to the creative ways to say overrated, underrated.
Yeah.
Mine
okay, we're sticking with overrated. Let's not
overrated.
get cute. Let's just do overrated, underrated. Sounds good.
So it's a list about 20 things. We'll see how many we get
20.
through.
All right, now.
It's a lot of good stuff.
Okay, all right.
All right, but we'll start it off
Thank you
easy.
for setting my expectations so I won't be too long-winded for each one.
So we'll start it off easy. Hard work. Hard work is number one.
Oh man, this is like
Oh, and Dane, I would like when like I say them on the shorts, could we like have a picture of something pop up like bing, and then it's like a no. All right, hard
Pew,
work.
pew, pew.
Hard work.
So I'm saying underrated or overrated.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say now. I think I understand the rules of this game properly. I'm going to say underrated.
Yeah, I would also agree with
You would also
underrated.
agree. So we have a work harder, not smarter episode that I'm really, 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 really excited to do. That will dovetail right off that. But
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have expected us to say overrated.
No.
No.
And I think it actually could be like
Yeah.
teasing that episode. It could be said by some to be overrated, but I would say if you do something long enough and hard enough, it'll eventually work. So I would
Yes.
say hard work is underrated also.
Let me give, I know you're hosting this episode. And I know I already lost my job, so it's all good. But let me ask you a question. Of all the times that you've heard work smarter, not harder, was it ever said by a person whose life you would live? Like, I want to be like that guy or gal.
I can think of
I'm talking about that exact phrase.
I can think of two people currently. The first one, definitely not.
Okay.
And
you don't have to air them out.
You know.
Yeah, well,
You may know.
I'm sure I know
In my
who it is.
former life.
I'm sure I know who it is.
But recently, my friend and coach Danny Myra said it. And
Oh, great! Make me look
in
bad
regards
now, man.
to. So this is going to dovetail into a whole different conversation. But in regards to jiu-jitsu, he was talking about teaching the kids class to Parker, and I was. He said, I forget what he was talking about. Like it was either guard retention or passing the guard, and he said you got to work smarter, not harder. It's in the essence, picture it like taking out the trash and taking out one piece of trash at a time.
Yep.
Rather than just taking out the whole trash bag or trash can.
Yep.
So it does apply. Like
It's applicable, but I feel like you can't get smart without working hard first.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
you have to understand the experience of taking the trash out one piece at a time before you can be efficient. Like you need to understand the effort before you understand the efficiency. Let's not get into the whole thing because then we're just going to blow that episode. We got it in the quiver already.
Do 1 2 hour
All right,
episode.
so hard work, underrated
Agreed.
for sure.
All right, here's a
Do you want to explain? Do we have to explain the underrated, overrated thing?
no.
Okay. all right.
No, it is a trend.
You know me,
thing.
clarity.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Clarity. I'm just like big clarity.
All
guy.
right. Next up, ice baths.
Overrated. I love a good ice bath, but
I would agree.
overrated,
They've
dude.
been overrated, and literally they're just everywhere now.
the problem is, it's like everybody thinks if they bathe in ice, it's going to cancel out a shitty diet, poor sleep, no sunlight, which is not like there's a lot of benefits to that modality. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love it for recovery. But if I'm not eating well, sleeping well, breathing fresh air and getting great sunlight, then why would I
useless.
even? Yeah, it's useless.
And that's the problem with a lot of these quote unquote hacks in fitness, health, work, finance. It's like you have to be doing. It's better to be doing everything 50% than instead of just one thing 100%. Like you said, if your sleep, nutrition, and fitness isn't on point, then doing an ice bath every single day isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
Now there are.
And I'm speaking from the physical standpoint. Like I know a lot of people that do the ice bath every day because it's something hard to do that shows their mind, not necessarily their body, but shows their mind that they can do hard things. So that makes sense to me. Like I get it. Like I'm not shitting on the ice baths. Like, but
No,
I do think that they're overrated
currently at this point in time. And that's one thing why I started really ice bathing even before the health benefits. I started back when, I went to like a Wim Hof seminar. Because I just wanted to know that like I could overcome that. And if I can't, when I'm in there, I'm like, if I can't overcome cold water, what can I overcome in life?
Yeah, exactly.
Because things will inevitably get harder.
Oh, of course. Of course. I'm like, you know me, like I was in like the 90s. Well, late 90s, early 2000s. I was doing quote unquote weird shit like that, like taking cold showers.
You were biohacking before the term biohacking.
Yeah, I was.
And that's because you're old. So
yeah, basically, that's basically what it is.
All right, next up, American Made.
American Made. Oh, underrated. Of course.
Severely.
We're going from easy to difficult here, right?
No,
easy to hard.
I tried to space them all out.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say these are pretty easy so far.
Yeah, so that we wouldn't be just like doing the same.
I got you.
Topics.
Underrated, bro. Underrated to the high heavens. But
if it were overrated, we would be in a much different position as a country.
Oh, for sure.
And would have a much better economy, in my opinion.
Well, we absolutely would. We'd have stronger families, stronger neighborhoods, stronger communities, stronger country. I think that what you're going to see now with Trump winning the election is you're going to see a shift towards that. You know what I mean? Everybody else is going to be getting on the train of American manufacturing. But, us, Kara, me, you, Bree, Tim, we're in the fucking locomotive.
John Slicks, Nick and Johnny.
Like we're pulling that train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Arjun. You know what I mean? Like we're pulling that train. So I'm eager to see everybody else get on board. I don't think that Americans will ever allow American made to become overrated. I don't think
with
it'll
where
happen.
we are now as a country.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll only continue to get better.
It's rooted in hard work though, because I even tell everybody openly, I'm like, going American made was hard. Like even
Still
people
is.
that are so accustomed to hard work, like chopping your margins is hard. Limiting your manufacturing capabilities is hard. Like I would love to create a lot of these things that some of our competitors are creating, but it's just not even in the cards being made here.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, the capability is here to make it, but because the capability has been unused for so long, it's super expensive
It would just
it would put us out.
I'm sorry, we're incapable of doing it just because of the fact it would be extremely. We wouldn't be able to sell any because we wouldn't be able to sell them at the price that our customers would buy them.
Yeah, exactly. I have people all the time, even at BK Live. Spoke to one of the few, Andrew. Spoke to a couple other people. They wanted kits for triathlons, like, kits for powerlifting, you know what I mean? Like all sorts of stuff. That's definitely doable, that we will do. Yeah. But I don't think that the majority of the populace understands how expensive it is to do and how it wouldn't be feasible. Yeah. The price point wouldn't be feasible.
Agreed. All right.
What do we got?
I'm just keeping an eye on our time.
No, go. Let's hit them, dude. We'll do what do you call it? Lightning rounds or whatever. So
Waking up early.
Waking up early, definitely underrated. Definitely underrated.
I have a hot take on this. I know. I don't want to. I'm not sure, right? Because there is magic in waking up early. Like our friend Craig Ballantyne says, like this is the magic time, and I do get I think I wake up reasonably early. I'm not a 5 a.m.er.
Here's the thing with waking up early, and nobody wants to say this. It's relative.
Yeah.
You and I don't have the same schedule. We don't have the same life. We don't have the same number of kids. We don't have the same spouse. We don't have the same. So like me getting up with the sun at whatever time that is, my magic time is gone.
So
you know
does
what I
your
mean?
time change now that it's the winter?
No.
Or it stays,
No.
so you're pre-sun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pre-sun.
Yeah, that's
I'm pre-sun.
I will say underrated though, because
I do
that
understand.
magic time is just, you hit the day with a head of steam.
Bro, you feel superhuman.
Yeah.
Like that's
You feel
my
you get
that's-
2 days.
Exactly. That's my way to describe it. You feel superhuman. Plus, when you wake up in the morning, you do your best work because at that time, the world doesn't have its claws in you, right?
Yeah.
And you have the most willpower. You're the most disciplined that you can be during
You're
that
in
window.
solitude.
Yeah, during that window, silence. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say about that, but all right, there are 2 people on this list too.
Mm-hmm.
First up,
Okay.
Bedros Keuilian,
Underrated.
extremely
Extremely underrated. Extremely underrated.
And if you know him on a personal level,
Yes.
that would even I feel like people
Yeah.
feel that energy and that power of a human being from the interwebs and social media.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually get to know the man and the way he cares about people and pours into people on a personal level is
10,000x.
yeah,
10,000x.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, he's like a brother to us. Obviously, he's a business partner. But I'm sure that we've only known him for a few years, right? I'm sure there's a lot we don't know
Yeah.
about the power of who he is.
Yeah.
And look, everybody knows B. So, like, I'm saying he's underrated. It's not that he's little known.
Exactly.
It's just that the power of his giving and the power of really just his humanity is something that a lot of people don't understand because they don't know him on the personal level.
Yeah. And it's funny. We've been business partners for how many years now? 2, 3?
It's been 3, I think. 3, yeah.
And getting into it, I was like weary. Just I had my guard up, obviously.
Yeah, we don't know him.
And I've always said like I waited for a reason to not waited, but thought there eventually maybe there was one little snippet where I'm like, oh, he's not the best guy ever. But he has literally given us nothing but reasons why he's just the best human being I've met on to date.
Yeah. And it's not,
aside from my wife.
It's not all like there you go. But yeah, footnote. And it's not like all sunshine and rainbows. Like sometimes he gives it to us hard. He gives it to it tough. Gives us
But I'm grateful
tough.
for that.
You know what I mean?
Well.
Which he should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
even those
punch in the face and he gives you a hug.
But even the punch in the face come correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Best dude ever. Shout out B.
Yeah. All right. Here's a tough one. Probably the hardest one on the list.
Okay, I'm ready.
Training in the gi. The gi.
Oh man.
Overrated, underrated.
I ain't gonna do this to me, man. I ain't gonna do this to me. Well, I'm glad this is the hardest one so we can get it out of the way. Oh man. Listen, out of respect for the art, I'm gonna have to say underrated. Out of respect for the art, and especially because I've only been immersed in the art for 4 years or whatever it's been. 3 years? 3 years, right?
Like 2.5, I think.
2.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, maybe the beanie's too tight today. I don't know. 2.5 years, almost 3 years.
I could be wrong. I
don't think I don't feel qualified to say overrated.
For your
although
on your personal
level, I'll still say underrated.
Disclaimer: we are not qualified for
Disclaimer,
any.
we are blue belts.
For any jiu-jitsu calls.
I'm going to say underrated out of respect for the culture, out of respect for the art, and also just given the fact that I've only been doing no gi now for a few months with the guys. So,
I'll agree with you on underrated.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, I may have said overrated, but I think at movement, it's fun to go back and forth each day.
Yeah.
So I think you should train both. I think training one makes you better at the other, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've been out of the gi now for I guess it's been almost 3 months. So
I love how it's out of the gi.
Yeah, out of the gi.
It was a past.
I've been
a
out
former
of the gi.
life.
Yeah, I've been out of the gi for
Or a bad
3
habit
months.
that you kick.
So I'm really curious. You know me, I'm a curious guy. I'm very curious to see how I behave and perform when I put the gi back on.
You hung up the gi.
Yeah.
So,
I hung up the gi for hell rounds.
before
Shout out Martinez BJJ. Tuesday,
switched-
Thursday, 11 a.m. They're good.
Before I switched gyms the first time, when I moved, I had only trained gi ever. And when I started to train no gi, even having a little bit of wrestling experience, I didn't know what to do with my hands or how to do any submissions at all. So I do think
I'm wondering. I think it's old programming. So when I do put the gi back on, I think I'm going to go right for those lapels. But I don't know.
All right, next up, the news.
The news?
Yeah.
Is this even a? How does this make the list, man? Who made this list?
I had to throw some
Overrated,
names in there.
man.
Yeah, extremely overrated.
Fake news, bro.
We
Fake
know
news.
that in order to be one of the few and commit to your goals, achieve your goals, you have to tune out the noise.
Yeah.
The news being one of them, being that they are just,
Fake.
in my opinion, just
Fake news.
professional gossipers.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, for sure. There was a shift in what the news was. They stopped reporting and they started coercing. And granted, I watched the news during that entire time. Like I was like, to use your feed me.
Yeah.
Like there was a certain point in time, more than 10 years ago, where I was in it, man.
Yeah,
like deep. Like, dude, I mean, I turn on the news. I used to work with the news on.
Same.
And boy, I look back at those days and I was like, man, what was I thinking, man?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
You really just have to break free.
Yeah. Let me ask you, we got some time. So let me ask you a question, right? I have been guilty on the show, on the gram, email, speaking to the community through multiple channels. I've been guilty of, I won't say vilifying, but I will say that I've been guilty of trying to convince the few that maybe certain things like sports don't belong. And this is the watching of sports.
I had professional
don't
sports. Don't
belong in their lives if they have a big goal that they have to be like focusing all their energy on. I want to go on record and I want to say that there's nothing wrong with watching sports. And one day I hope to return to watching the Phillies and the Flyers. But right now I've made a conscious...
You're not a football guy.
I mean, I enjoy watching the Eagles, but I'm a baseball and hockey guy, really, I think. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with it. And one day I do, I want to be like, an old man at the Phillies games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
But for right now, I've made the conscious personal decision to cut that shit out. And I think a lot of other people have to do it too.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. At one point in my entrepreneurial journey, I was still, and I don't think the casual watching of professional sports is the problem for hunters and goal seekers and the few.
That's a good point.
It's the obsession and the fantasy football and the stats watching. Like, more men I know are more worried about Jalen Hurts' touchdown to interception ratio than they are about providing for their family or being the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And that might be a hot take, and
Hey, look.
it may offend people, but
Look, is a free country. That's what's beautiful. So you can craft whatever type of life you want.
I
And if
agree.
that's the life you want, that's fine. But like,
teach their
Yeah.
is one of those cliches that has come around to me more recently than in the past.
yep.
I used to just think whatever about that quote, but it really everyone is entitled to their own life.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
my life that you're living.
For sure. Just know that if you come to us and you say, I have this big goal, I want to start this apparel brand, or I want to do this, and I don't have time, the first thing we're going to go after is your Sunday football.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole fucking day.
I had
and
that.
most people that I hear this from, I don't have time, they're also eating and drinking like shit during it, which then derails their week. So
years ago, I thought I was a hard worker, entrepreneur, and this is like right out of college, but I said I was committed to my goals. I wanted to be something great, but I was literally spending all day. I would get, like you said, I would get what's the hoagie place? The very Primo's.
Oh, don't throw.
Yeah.
I love me a Primo's, dude. Come on.
A chicken Diablo.
Nah, I get the prosciutto with the mozzarella on the wrap.
Mozzarella. And like we just sit there all day and watch Red Zone. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
A young Drewy B.
Yeah. So is sports on the overrated, underrated
No,
list?
I took it off.
Oh,
I didn't want to get into those conversations.
All right, well, sorry.
Amanda and I were talking about it, and I was like, she's like, you have vilified sports.
Well, I wanted to go on record and
I
say
said, you
that.
know what, you're right.
I wanted to go on record and say that we're not vilifying it. It's just, you need to really hold yourself accountable. And if what you say you want is really what you want, changes are necessary.
Exactly.
And some of those changes are going to involve sports. Yeah. Just say.
I agree.
All right, good. What's next?
All right, next up. Black coffee.
Underrated.
I would agree.
Highly underrated.
Our friend Sean Brady would not agree with me.
No.
No, he
Likes butter?
he said he likes to put like cream and raw cream in there, and he always
nothing
says
wrong with
he's like, why do you torture? He's like, I love myself, so why would I torture myself with black coffee? That was our first conversation.
I love that.
At that wedding we met at.
Yeah.
I was drinking at the time, and I was just being an idiot. And I was like, oh, you put like cream in your coffee? You're supposed to be a tough guy. He's like, dude, you're an idiot. Like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I really enjoy just getting punched in the face by like a really strong black espresso.
Couple benefits to black coffee. Like, it doesn't break your fast. So if you're drinking coffee on an empty stomach, you're getting health benefits. Mm-hmm. When I started drinking coffee in my professional career, I would go over to Starbucks next to my old.
Did you get the unicorn latte?
No, never that poison. But I was mildly into my health journey, and I was like, if it fits your macros, like just trying to.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Flexible
doing protein
dieting.
shakes, protein bars.
Actually,
and,
flexible dieting and if it fits your macros, two different things.
Yeah, but
Kind of the same, but
connected.
Different.
Yeah.
I feel like the if it fits your macros crowd is like, I'm going to eat anything. Like, I'm going to eat McDonald's. I'm going to eat.
Well, I would Pop-Tarts every single night, but that I feel as though that's the progression of health. It's like you start counting calories, you start with your macros, then you're raising like a chicken farm. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I will say black coffee is also underrated. However, I do, since Sean recommended, I do enjoy from time to time raw milk and stevia in my coffee.
I would do a raw milk. I would do a latte. I would do a little raw milk with my.
The point of that story was that when I started it, I just started drinking black coffee.
Okay, I got
so
you.
I was like, I never want to rely on needing cream and sugar. It's like my theory is that it's like wine, right? Like no one likes their first sip of wine.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah,
wine tastes like sand, and I was like, if I never have cream and sugar, I'm never going to miss cream and sugar. So I just kind of forced myself to like black coffee.
Yeah, wait. The black coffee thing is kind of like a badge of honor, I think, because it's like a self-reliance thing.
Yeah,
it's
real
like
hard workers like black coffee.
I can get by with the least. Like that's kind of the. Exactly. I think that's why it's badge of honor.
It makes us badasses.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next one, tough one. Might crinkle some feathers. College, ruffle some feathers.
Overrated.
I would agree.
Yeah, overrated. Especially nowadays. Mm-hmm. Especially nowadays, is overrated. Was there a point in time where it wasn't as overrated? Maybe, but now, severely overrated.
The collegiate system has just turned into like anything, just a complete.
Well, I look at it
almost
as
like a monopoly, and like Penn State, where I went, makes over a couple billion in revenue, I believe. You
got to ask yourself. You got to have that ROI conversation with yourself, and you have to just say, like, "Hey, the $315,000 that I'm going to spend, or even my parents are going to spend, or the loans I'm going to get. What's the return on that within X amount of years?"
It's kind of silly to think you go to school for $100,000 and get a job making $50,000
or less.
Yeah,
or
if you're in the business degree,
or even less. You know what I mean? I was on the cutting edge of that, man. I was just like, I wasn't smart enough to say I'm not going. I tried to drop out.
Really?
My mom beat my ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tried to drop out, and she was right for
Yeah.
it. Literally, like, I'm a college student, and she was swinging on me. So like, she was right for it.
Shout out to Angelina for the physical assault.
Yeah, Mom B. She was right for it. I tried to drop out, but I wasn't smart enough not to do it. But I did have the conversation with myself is like, I want to get through this as fast and cheap as possible.
How many years did you?
I graduated in 3 years with a Bachelor of Science
Interesting.
in computer science. 3 years.
I did 5.
Yeah.
We were different.
Yeah. I started.
We were different students.
Maybe. I started going. Did I ever tell a story? I don't think I ever did.
I didn't realize you could hack the system though and just take more classes.
No, you couldn't.
If I would have known that.
No, I didn't. I started. My first year of college was my senior year of high school.
You did tell this on the podcast, I believe.
Yeah, I was a Dawson scholar. So my mornings, I went to LaSalle.
Yeah.
My senior year of high school, in the morning, I went to LaSalle for half the day.
Yeah.
Then I drove from LaSalle to McDevitt, did my high school classes, and then at a certain point in time, I started actually working too in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So then I would drive to Princeton and work, and then sleep at Princeton, drive to LaSalle in Philly from Princeton in the morning, and just repeat the cycle.
Damn.
Because I wanted to get it. I wanted it to be
Is that
over
for
with.
the same company that you just worked for previously?
No, this was the first company
Also
I worked
in
for.
Princeton.
Yeah, where I met Ken.
Also in Princeton, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's like the watchers and listeners community probably knows.
Princeton,
like
New Jersey, my bad.
Princeton, New Jersey. Yeah,
The last one was Connecticut, right?
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So I wanted it. I wasn't smart enough to not go. I wasn't smart enough to make a really compelling argument to my parents as to why I shouldn't be there. But I was smart enough to say I want this over quick and cheap. You know what I mean? So that's why.
So my first 2 years, I just dicked around too much, and then I had to make up for lost time. And if I would have known that I could just take more classes and earn more credits, I would have just taken a shit ton of classes and got done in 2-3 years.
Yeah, got done. Yeah. Well, they brainwash you with this whole well, you got to find yourself, and you don't have to really make a decision until 2 years in, and then, well, we have this 5-year program.
Even when I told my advisor that I was going to take more classes, he's like, I don't think you should do that. I was like, well, watch me.
I even took it as far as my junior year, right? So I didn't go to college senior year. I just did 3 years. So my junior year, I went to my advisor at the time. I was like, I need to get out of here. She was like, you have like 1 semester left, and then you have your finals, and then you're done. I was like, I need to get out of here. Yeah. She's like, the only thing we could do is ask your professors to give you your finals early. And if you pass them, you can leave. You don't have to come back. I was like, let's do it. Line them the fuck up. And I passed them. Oh. So I was out. So I was even out a little earlier than the 3 years. But I did come back, and I walked with my class because I had like a buddy of mine, a really good friend of mine.
I will say college graduation does feel good. It is good.
Yeah, it felt good. Yeah. It felt good. But it's like anything. Like, guess what feels really good? Cool Ranch Doritos. But you know what I mean? I love me some Cool Ranch Doritos, man. But,
yeah, you and Bray, dude. That's our guilty pleasure.
I love Cool Ranch Doritos. I'll smash them up on a sandwich. Like, I'll do whatever. But is it really good for you in the long run? I was
never a Dorito guy. I feel as though I'm more of a sweet guy than a savory, like a chip guy.
I don't do sweets. Bag of like Cool Ranch.
So like post dinner, you would prefer a bag of chips over?
Yeah, post dinner actually. So I mentioned this. I guess we were on a call or something recently. I mentioned I've been like crushing Frosted Mini Wheats, just like crushing them. So that's like as sweet as I'll get.
They're good though. You going dry or you going?
Nah, milk.
Oh, really?
I'm a dairy guy.
They're pretty. I mean, I'm raw milk guy. Yeah. I like Frosted Mini Wheats just by themselves though.
Oh yeah, I could eat them just out of the bag. Yeah, I could eat them
post dinner. I've been
crushing. Post dinner, I've been crushing.
Ninja Creamies. I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm familiar from like you and Frank, but I've never had
Frank
one.
only does them on the weekend as a treat, which I should do.
Yeah.
But if I can have ice cream every night, it's good for me. I'm just gonna do it every night.
If I have a full meal, and I'm like, okay, what's next? I'm gonna have a dessert.
Yeah.
Like, I'll eat prosciutto, dude.
Really?
That's how more meat.
My friend Tony Menez,
I'm just like a carnivore.
He would just want more dinner.
Yeah.
rather than dessert. That's strange.
I go through seasons, like especially in the fall. Like I like a nice piece of apple pie, warmed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even ice cream on it, just warm apple pie.
Yeah.
Bro. That was a movie, wasn't it? Like what?
I get you now.
Yeah,
I get
apple.
it.
No.
Now I
I'm
understand.
talking about real apple pie. I like, I like pie. I like rhubarb pie. You ever have rhubarb?
No.
Shoe fly pie?
No.
Molasses?
But only once in a while, though.
So I do like a pie, piece of pie.
Permitting.
I like a piece of pie every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm just like, give me more dinner. Yeah. All right, next.
Next up, entrepreneurship.
I personally, I'm going to say underrated asterisks because I really do believe it's underrated. It's just not for everybody. And I don't think that makes it overrated.
We're going to disagree, but I think you're going to agree with the way I'm saying it.
Maybe I haven't thought through it enough.
I would say, well, I haven't really, but I would say,
You're like, I need to buy.
I would say overrated because on social media nowadays, entrepreneurship is just pictured to be this glamorous, nothing but money and freedom type thing, when it's a lot darker and grittier than that.
Yeah,
I would say, in my opinion, today's day and age, overrated.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying underrated asterisks, which really is probably overrated.
Yeah.
It's just not for most people.
It's not for most people. That's true.
It's you have to earn everything.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the lifestyle. You have to earn everything, but to the nth degree.
Yep.
So we don't have to get into the dark side of entrepreneurship. We've already done an episode on that.
Next up, late night work sessions, whether that be laptop work, gym work, whatever kind of work you do.
Man, I used to be a night owl. My early days of entrepreneurship, even in my early days of corporate, I was a typical like coder, like programmer. Like I'd get up at like freaking 9:30, you know what I mean? 10 o'clock because I was up till 4 coding, you know what I mean? So I've done the night shift and I used to love it. I used to love it. But now I'm going to say, overrated.
I would agree.
Yeah.
There are definitely seasons of entrepreneurship, which I would like to think we were past, where I had worked way late, especially when USPS, the time I can think of, I just told the story recently, but the time when USPS during Black Friday, Cyber Monday during COVID, lost an entire truck worth of stuff, and we were up till literally 2 a.m. answering customer service emails and phone calls. But in my opinion now, knowing what I don't know now about entrepreneurship and life and health, it just sets up your next day to not be as productive or efficient.
Yeah. I just have to make sure that I get a specific amount of REM. Yeah. And if I can get that, I'll stay up later, but it's kind of a crapshoot because I have to really take stock in my day. I'm like, okay, like how is training? What's my stress level like? Like, am I going to be able to enter REM for the multiple hour period that I need? Yeah. If not, I need to be in bed longer to give myself a chance to.
You and I know from all the Whoop studying we've done that you need all of the phases of sleep.
Of course.
Deep and light sleep.
Of course.
So I don't think sacrificing sleep is ever the answer. Well, you need just the amount that you deem right for you.
Listen, I will say though that entrepreneurship, going back to the previous underrated, overrated, no matter what season of entrepreneurship you're in, whether you're in startup, scale, or harvest, right? So you're just beginning, you're growing the business, or you're harvesting, meaning, there's many effective systems in place and you have acquired more financial freedom, freedom of time, all that stuff. Whatever phase of business building or entrepreneurship you're in, those late nights always come. I could tell you a recent story, someone that you'd think there would never be a night where he's up late, working, grinding. There would never be a night because of the level of success he's achieved. He had it. I talked to him late as shit at night, and he was up grinding. Yeah. So Now, does that happen every month? Probably not. Does it happen a couple times a quarter? Twice a quarter? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you never really escape it.
And I would like to preface that just for anyone that's an entrepreneur listening to us and thinking I want to get where they are one day. Like there are multiple nights during the week where my night, I still have a night. We both do. It's a night we are working at night is a thing. It's you have to. There's no work-life balance. So what I'm referring to is the late night, like the late night where you're getting dangerous.
You're not talking about like 10 o'clock. You're talking about like 1 a.m.
Yeah, like affecting your next day's productivity. So
basically like late enough to break your routine for the morning.
Correct.
Basically.
And if you want to get into entrepreneurship and do the damn thing, you're gonna have to get used to not having a work-life balance and just having a work-life mix. Like we have nothing other than jiu-jitsu, family, and work. That's really what it comes down to, sacrificing things to make bigger things happen and provide the life you want for yourself and your family. And that just is what it takes.
Yeah. And you know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, man, you got to ask yourself that hard question. Can I like distill it down to like 3 core things? And everybody thinks they can, but in practice, it's a different story, you know? So what do you got up next?
All right, next.
How are we making out on the list? Like we're good ways down?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, let's hit them. Let's hit them all, dude. I'm having a fucking blast.
I was texting you earlier. I was like, I think you're really gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, I know. You know me, dude. I only use like humor and fun.
And
I use humor and fun seldomly.
I think the few will appreciate this episode too.
I think so too. Yeah. I know.
Next up, vegetables.
I mean, underrated.
I would say overrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, why? Because you're carnivore now?
Well, I'm not carnivore. I tried carnivore.
You don't want any micronutrients?
I think there are more from the people I've read, listened to, whatever. And again, there's for each person that says
yes, of course.
Like, for literally anything in life, there's a argument, counter argument.
Yep.
I have been drawn to the side of belief that I would rather get my nutrients and micronutrients from meat and fruit.
Yeah, man.
I believe, and someone can fact check me right in, comment on YouTube because I know the haters are out there.
They're going to be too distracted by my beanie, man.
You actually get more micronutrients.
Well, the animal eats the vegetables.
Yeah.
And then you eat the animal.
From a ribeye than you do a head of broccoli.
Yeah. I don't, I guess I'm saying underrated through the lens of more people need to eat vegetables, bro. Because not like people aren't eating, like you're eating steak, right, to get all your nutrients. Yeah. People aren't doing that. People are eating lab grown shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm saying it through the lens of.
Yeah, we're looking at it differently.
If we're having a conversation between
real food, underrated.
Oh, underrated, severely underrated. Whole foods, we'll say Whole Foods, single ingredient foods, underrated.
We'll change.
And then everybody's gonna come at me with the whole single ingredient food thing. That's just how I prefer to eat. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's how I prefer to eat.
I will say on the stretches where I am eating, because I do, and they're on the list, but enjoy a protein bar here and there. But the stretches by which I'm eating majority, if not all, whole foods are the days I feel the best.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. So you're saying overrated vegetables. I'm saying underrated vegetables. I think everybody understands why.
Yeah.
I do love me some vegetables though, man. Yeah. Like with a steak, with a nice snake. Steak.
Amanda's a big beets. Like she makes vegetables. She makes vegetable salads, which is just weird to me. Like eating a vegetable salad for dessert is just a strange behavior. Like beets and.
I'm gonna let you go out on a limb and give your opinion on that. I'm gonna reserve mine.
We do eat arugula very regularly.
Yeah, like some arugula with a steak.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
Oh yeah.
Hey. What about kale? You like kale?
No,
kale's a sham, bro.
Apparently, per Dave Asprey, has a lot lot
who's that?
Oxalates. He's a Bulletproof Coffee Company.
Yeah.
He's
okay. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
He's a bit of he's on the fringe, but
yeah, I know that
guy. He knows his stuff.
Kale is
He's big anti-kale guy.
Yeah, I'm a big anti-kale guy too. We would get along.
Yeah. You
Kale's a
definitely would
sham, bro.
Because you are also
Whoever.
very fringe guys.
Yeah, I'm fringy. If who created this kale thing? You said, now look, I don't drink anymore, but when I did, I love wine. You said wine tastes like sand. You're gonna get roasted for that. But anyway, kale tastes like cardboard, bro.
Your first couple glasses of wine tastes like sand.
I think maybe
You're telling me there's people out there that drink their first sip of wine and go, oh my God, that's
wine,
amazing.
yes. Like a bourbon or vodka, no. Wine, yes, though.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Dane, you ever have wine? Yeah. Your first
Do you think
sip,
wine tastes like sand?
No, your first sip of wine.
You ain't gonna win, dog. Oh, you're saying not that good?
I don't. I
Did you
don't
ever
think.
have did you ever have a really nice wine?
I mean,
Like a complex aged wine?
not aged. I've had.
Or I
would say-
shouldn't say that. An aged wine or a complex wine? Big body?
I would say that no, not anything like that.
Okay.
But fit vine wines.
I mean, if you're drinking Menage a Trois wine, dude, like, yeah, I can understand.
Yeah,
It tastes like sand.
Sutter Home.
Sutter Home, dude.
Fit vine wine. This company Fit Vine Wine makes like all organic.
Well, that's going to taste like sand, bro. Does it taste good or no?
I mean, it tastes like wine.
Yeah.
It's like coffee tastes like
Well,
coffee.
whatever, dude. I don't even know where I was going with this. You're going to reverse. Oh, yeah, the kale thing. Dude, kale tastes like trash. It tastes
No,
like
I agree.
it tastes like chewing a bag of trash.
No, I agree. But
I'll never forget the first time I had kale. I went to I went to one of those, like, I don't think it was Sweet Green, but it was like one of those type of places.
yeah, I've
And
tried
I
it.
love me every once in a while, like a big salad with some protein in it.
Yeah, same.
And I got like the kale thing. I was like, whatever. Like, it's green.
You just leave it there.
It's like, I'm just going to eat this.
Yeah.
Like, it's leaves. I understand what's in it, blah, blah. I ate it. I was like, this tastes like trash, like a bag of trash, number one. And number two, then I come to find out it's like not even really like nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Or
Nor-
nutrient dense isn't the right word.
No,
it's not full of like vitamins.
Yeah, nutrient dense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
That's the argument for all these carnivores are making is that literally you get more nutrients from meat.
Well, sign me up, man. Sign me up.
Welcome.
I did carnivore for like 6 weeks. It was great, except
That's longer than I ever did. I think I did like 3.
and Byron had me on carnivore, man. I was at the beach. I was eating meat out of a Ziploc bag with a plastic fork, bro.
I will do that, and I
Yeah.
still do that. And all the carnivore snacks, our friends at Carnivore Snacks, shout out. Like, I love that stuff. But knowing I can go have a piece of fruit after also, like, or when
of
I want
course.
to,
Yeah,
that
of
it just
course.
makes it so much better. But when the only thing you're eating is meat, it makes it tough.
Yeah, very tough.
All right, next up, wrist locks.
Wrist locks.
Yeah.
I have a training partner, Jeff. He's great. He's been with me since probably my like second class, and he's a wrist lock guy. He just wrist locked me on Tuesday.
Did you rip the wrist lock?
Now that I'm in the hell rounds,
Yeah.
he's putting a little bit more on them.
A little bit more sauce.
Yeah, a little bit more jam on the wrist locks, but I'm gonna say that here you go. I'm gonna say they're underrated.
We disagree on this. I would say overrated, extremely overrated.
I will say underrated because and I'm not a self-defense expert, but they're effective. They
Yeah,
work and they work quick. And for somebody that is not super well trained or has a bunch of training under their belt, the ability to
Break your wrist in 0.5 seconds.
yes, with the body or with the hand
Yeah.
or arm, whatever, effective. So I will say underrated. Yeah. But I'm not wrist locking people. I just want to be
No,
clear.
Joey's a big wrist locker. You heard it here first. All right, morning routines.
Underrated.
I agree.
Underrated asterisks.
Oh my! What's the asterisk for?
Asterisks. I think that if the best work that you do in a given day is your morning routine, that more than likely there's a problem. I also think that if you are relying on your morning routine
Can't be a crutch. Can't be
to
a crutch.
solve the big problems that you have in your life,
Yeah.
your level 10 problems, as Craig says, there's a problem.
What did he say? You got to apply 10x effort to the 10x problems. Is that how he said it?
Yeah, that's how I think it's one of the most brilliant definitions of discipline.
Yeah.
That's his definition of discipline, applying a level 10 effort to the level 10 problems in your
Yes,
life
that's what it was.
consistently. Yeah. So wait, what did I say? I said overrated?
You said underrated.
Underrated, I'm sorry, underrated.
Which they are.
Yeah.
Some semblance of a routine. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be super in depth, but waking up and having a discipline.
Man, I see. I'm very tuned in. You know, I'm like very. I don't absorb a lot, but I do observe a lot. Right. So a lot of people say, well, how can you observe so much and not absorb it? It's like, dude, I got like a steel. I got like a steel suit on, bro. But I do observe a lot. And morning, since I'm up early, you know, I'm taking the girls to school, I'm doing the thing. Like seeing how some people behave in the morning is like just wild behavior.
They're zombies, bro. You wake up.
Wild behavior to me, bro. And I think if they
it's
just
important
knew,
not to be over reliant on your morning routine, right? Agree.
Of course,
You can't be ineffective without it.
Right.
But if I were taken and thrown into the standard American's morning routine, I wouldn't be able to function.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be able to
waking up, looking at your phone immediately.
Mentally, I wouldn't be able to do it. Now, do I get up?
They probably just feel like trash all the time.
Well, I think that they don't know what it feels like otherwise.
Correct.
You know, and it's you know, it's a scary thing. It requires discipline. There's some risk. I know that sounds weird to say, but like when you change how you operate, especially in the early morning hours, you know, it's a lot of people are, I don't know if they're not ready to make that change, but that also means that they don't understand how they could feel.
Correct.
So, you know, I'm,
the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, right?
Yeah. But yeah, some of the behavior out here that I see, like on the street, like when I'm just driving in HQ in the morning, is wild behavior, bro.
Are you talking about? Like,
I'm talking about somebody
like
that's
the drug addicts, like all that.
No, dude, I ain't even talking about somebody like that, like it's like has like a substance abuse like struggle. I'm talking about somebody that is driving around in their car. They have a 67-ounce Dunkin' Donuts cup in their hand that is literally so white. It looks like it's just sugar. It looks like it's a cup of sugar.
Can we talk real quick? When we were here a week or two ago, Daisy brought up coffee culottes from Dunkin'. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dude, they were so fucking good.
Yeah, of course they were.
They were so good.
So are Pop-Tarts, so are Doritos. They're made in a lab. You think if they're putting this much effort into making it that savory, I mean, putting that much effort into making it, do you think they're not going to make it good? Of course they are,
Well, thankfully, Robert F. Kennedy's here to save us all from seed oil. He's gonna Maha, baby.
He's gonna fuck some shit up, dude. I love it. I love it. But I'm talking about the wild behaviors, like someone that's driving around, they got this 67-ounce Dunkin' Donuts cup in their hand that it looks like it's just a cup of sugar because it's so light colored. Yeah. A cigarette
I was about to say
cigarette hanging out of their mouth, their phone in their hand, driving with no hands. Yeah. That is wild behavior for 8:30 in the morning. What's the rest of your day like?
That's like 70% of Philadelphia.
And I'm not saying that I'm like perfect, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes I fall out of my morning routine back in the day. You know what I mean? Like I would doom scroll in the morning. You know what I mean? I probably had one too many strawberry bliss bars from Starbucks or cranberry bliss. You ever have them?
No.
Oh man,
I
probably had one too many of them in the morning. So look, I'm speaking from not from a place of perfection, but just from a place of experience. Like your day, like what's your day like after that? If you're behaving that way at 8:30 in the morning.
Agreed.
All right, next. What's next?
Personal development and personal development books.
Underrated.
Extremely underrated. I think I've learned more from personal development podcasts and books than I did in my 4 or 5 year college degree. Yeah,
before we became friends with B and business partners with B, the biggest breakthroughs that I had personally in personal development and in professional development came from books. They didn't come from social media clips. You know, they didn't come from YouTube. They came from books. No. And I believe that's because, like, you know, a book carries energy with it, just like our tees do and our fightwear. Like, I believe that a book really carries energy with it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
A few books that just changed my life. Rich Dad Poor Dad in college. I read that.
Mm-hmm.
12 Pillars by Jim Rohn.
Yep.
Man Up by B.
Yep.
The Alchemist. Yep. By Paulo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulo Coelho. And well, I'll leave it those 4. And maybe fifth, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Yep.
12 Rules for Life by JBP.
Yeah, you know how I roll when it comes to this conversation. Like I could probably name 30 of them, but I'm just gonna say 12 pillars. Just get 12 pillars, read 12
I wanted
pillars.
to leave a few with
That's
a
it. Yeah,
tactical.
yeah, for sure. Get 12 pillars, read 12 pillars.
All right, next up, individual. Sean Brady.
Sean Brady?
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend.
Underrated.
Extremely
bro.
underrated.
Underrated. I thought you were going to throw one at me that was going to be like hard. Like B and Sean,
Yeah,
underrated
I
all
figure
day
the
long.
two that are closest to the movement. So, just from day one in the UFC, just gonna see us consistently being underrated.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what?
Even though it might be hard to say now that he's at 4 as of like 2 days ago.
People still going to say it.
Yeah.
People still going to say it, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're still going to say it. But in a way, I mean, I wonder, you know, we'll have him on the show, but I wonder how he feels about that. Like, did being the underdog give him, you know, an edge or, you know, whatever?
One thing I will say about Sean, and that's I think why we've become so close over the years and just with meeting each other, he's focused on one thing, and that's the work, right? He doesn't even, hardly does social, barely entertains, any of that stuff. He just, all he cares about is where he's going and what he wants to achieve and what it's going to take to get there.
It's what it takes, man. It's where he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if more people live that way, I think we have a much better society.
Yeah.
And people would achieve more.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
All right. This one came off the topic of Sean Brady, but because he did help me design and construct these. But the new Few Will Hunt grappling shorts.
Underrated.
Overrated, underrated.
Underrated. I just, it's funny that you added this to the list because I was speaking with Max this morning. And he had, I guess it was the team set that we sent him. That was his first pair of grappling shorts.
Oh,
Before
really?
that, he was like living in the cross combat shorts.
Really?
So I think it was him, Amanda, Cindy were together yesterday training or whatever. And he posted a picture. So I was talking to him this morning. I replied to a story. Or actually, he sent me a message and just was expressing gratitude.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, how do you feel about the grappling shorts? And he raved about them. So
It's funny because we thought we had the best shorts when we were doing the cross combat shorts.
I mean, for their purpose.
Yeah, they're great. They're
Yeah.
great shorts. But once we started to make these, once I started wearing the grappling, I was like, dude,
Never
this
go.
is it.
Yeah,
we can't.
Personally, never going back.
We got to make all of our shorts grappling shorts. So, and they are
And you know what
equally as applicable for any type of cross combat,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
if not more.
I mean, with the leg opening being as it is, you could use them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For
anything.
other applications
Yeah,
too, not
agreed.
just grappling. But I will say, and this is somewhere we could be better, because I'm sure that there's Eagles listening to this that are like, wait, new grappling shorts?
Yeah.
Because we kind of did not
Yeah.
properly introduce them. We were like, hey, look, we got these
Yeah.
now. We were so excited about the work to develop them
Yep.
that when they came out, we were just like, hey, here they are. We didn't really
been a problem of
tell a
ours.
yeah, since the dawn of
Beginning
time.
is not marketing as best we should.
So grappling shorts, fuelhunt.com,
Now
search
live.
grappling shorts. Now we have multiple pairs.
All right, next up, meditation.
Underrated.
Agreed.
Underrated. So the umbrella of meditate, just meditation in general.
Yeah, meditation,
yeah.
spending time, quiet time alone by yourself in your thoughts.
Yeah. Severely underrated.
Extremely underrated.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend it to anyone that is looking to pursue more or just generally be happier and
Yep.
less of a slave to their mind and their emotions.
Yep.
It is truly one of the best parts of my day and has changed my personality and my mental fortitude all in one.
For sure. Yeah. The beautiful thing about meditation nowadays is it's like super accessible. We were talking about me being weird back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I was been into that for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So, and by no means, it's a practice, right? So I'm not saying I'm some kind of expert, but when I was doing it, like initially people were like, what?
Yeah, what?
Like, but now it's so accessible. You can download an app like Headspace or some of those other great apps out there when you do 5-minute meditations.
Or just set a timer and close your eyes and just think about the blackness, right? Like you don't even need the guided. That's one of the things about the society is everybody's trying to capitalize financially on anything. When realistically, meditation from the monks just started with just quiet time alone.
Yeah, I mean, even you know, I used to ride the Peloton a lot, especially during you know, the years that they kept us locked away unlawfully. I was riding the Peloton, and even Peloton started to release meditations, you know, guided meditations. And I thought that was great because after I finished a ride, they were not upselling because it's a membership, but you know, they were suggesting like meditation.
That's cool.
And I'm like, this is awesome.
That's cool.
You know, this is awesome. So
do you practice daily?
So yes, but it changes. So sometimes I'll do guided. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll take my meditation time at night and just do visualization, which is still in silence and I'm just visualizing. And inevitably, like, you know, all the thoughts come up when I'm visualizing, not just what I'm visualizing, all the thoughts come up. So it's a practice in channeling them. When
I was doing a lot of guided, right? I started with Headspace, then did some Dispenza stuff, I have the Insight Timer. I was training with a fellow named Dennis at Gracie Baja when I was there, who I don't remember if he studied under monks or went to some. He did meditation training. I believe he studied under monks, and he said you need to just do nothing, right? Like even when you're doing a guided meditation, you're still thinking because you're thinking about the guided meditation. So he really helped me, and it was hard too when I started to just like literally tame the monkey mind and actually just think about nothing and do nothing.
Yeah, but it's important to make the note that it's a practice.
Agreed.
And you know, even though you could have some really great sessions for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it could be a train wreck.
And then at that point, I will do like a Headspace, or Headspace is a great app.
Yeah, Headspace is great. There's another one out there, and I forget what the name is. That's great. I enjoy like a guided meditation every once in a while. I only do guided meditations with Kelly Howell from BrainSync.
Oh, I never heard.
So when I first got into meditation, this is like late 90s.
Yeah.
She was the first person I found.
Oh, really?
And she had like CDs. And
CDs.
I've been with her and her ecosystem since then.
Long-time customer.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever listened to Dispenza meditation?
No.
It's kind of Dispenza's the goat.
Yeah.
His books are great, but his meditation was kind of wild.
Yeah, I gotta check him out. Yeah.
We got 3
like
more.
astral plane stuff.
He's just like, it's like you are thinking about nothing. Like he's like, and you're like, whoa, dude. Like, yeah.
It worked though, right? The guy you're thinking about nothing.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah.
All right, 3 left.
All right. Well,
protein bars.
I will say that they are. This is a tough one, man, because who am I speaking to?
I know, that's a good question.
Again, like if it's you and me chatting, I'm like overrated all day long.
Yeah.
But for somebody that's just starting out their journey, like many of the few are, right, that are dialing themselves in, making the choice of having like an RX bar or whatever is a way better choice than a previous choice that they
we'll look at it from that lens. We'll say underrated then.
I would say underrated because of the
but you gotta watch your ingredients though.
Yeah, you gotta watch the
clean ones.
Yeah, you gotta watch your ingredients, and then also like you don't want something that has yellow 5 in it or red,
which some of them do. Like some of the ones you get at Wawa or 7-Eleven, like they it's no better than a Snickers.
I'm gonna say underrated. Asterisks if you're watching ingredients, because otherwise, what decision are you gonna make? You're gonna have some shitty food, or worse, you're not gonna eat at all.
Careful.
If you're on a nutrition plan and you're trying to hit your macros, and all you got is a protein bar, that's better than falling off the train,
Agreed.
sending your body into preservation mode when you should be reverse dieting.
But
maybe.
if some people spend more time in preservation mode, we'd be better off.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Look, you know me. I'm for fasting, but I'm gonna go with underrated.
I agree with
asterisks.
you. I would agree with you. All right, last two, and these are hot topics.
Okay.
Guard pulling.
I'm gonna say. Again, it depends on the audience, man. If like
From your blue belt perspective of jiu-jitsu,
and we're just talking about jiu-jitsu, that's it.
just jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Not any sort of combat situation.
Not a street fight.
Not combat jiu-jitsu, not combat, not MMA, not street fighting.
Yeah, I don't think Dana White would accept anyone pulling guard in the cage, in the octagon. I don't know if they have or haven't. I don't watch enough.
I'll tell you something. I pull now. Of course, in the past couple of months, it's been completely obliterated. But my gi, when I'm in the gi, I play a lot of close guard. So I'm going to say underrated.
Would definitely say underrated. And
Yeah, I'm going to say underrated, man.
I didn't feel that way before I started at Movement Art. I was the typical like, oh, you should wrestle, like start wrestling. But jiu-jitsu and wrestling are two different things. Again, I'm just a blue belt. So from my observations,
Yes, yeah,
and
of course. My bad.
looking at jiu-jitsu as a sport, the person pulling guard sometimes, if not all, most of the times I've watched, are the more aggressive player and doing more of the attacking. So and even you look at like obviously Nick and Danny pull guard a lot, and they have some of the best jiu-jitsu I've ever.
I think what it comes down to
seen.
is like, are you pulling guard because that's your game, or are you pulling guard because you have no gumption? Like that's what it comes down to. Like if you're pulling guard because you're afraid, or you don't have balls, or you're trying.
But from a
I'm not saying this is my
strategic sport.
I'm not saying this is my outlook on it. What I'm saying is I'm trying to dissect the fact of why people like they shit on guard pulling, and I think it's because what they're really talking about is the person that's not courageous enough to whatever.
Like, oh,
but if it's your game, there's no problem with it.
But it is your game because you don't have good wrestling. Like not that you don't have good wrestling, but your guard game ends up being stronger than your wrestling. So why would I stand up and wrestle with, like, if your wrestling is better than mine and my guard's great and I've developed my guard, then why would I stand up?
Yeah, but then you're going to pull guard not because you're afraid. You're pulling guard because it's your game.
But couldn't you say that you would be afraid because my
Nah,
guard's
I mean, I guess you can make that
wrestler?
argument. I wouldn't, but I guess you can make that argument.
I'm saying underrated. And if you watch CJI and like Levi Jones Leary, you know him? I just look over there. But like he was just
Saw somebody was coming from behind.
absolutely.
Dude. I was like, I got to ready myself.
Constantly attacking, constantly. And I would challenge anyone that doesn't believe guard bowling is underrated to go to Movement and
Try it.
and test Nick
Come
and
to
Danny's
Movement.
guard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or
That's
Mikey
a good-
Musumeci. Like they say that he's even on a different level. I believe Gordon Ryan even said he couldn't pass Mikey Musumeci's guard.
Yeah.
That allows a person, and there are two completely different. That's David and Goliath right there.
Yeah.
That allows Mikey the potential opportunity to beat someone like
Yeah, of
Gordon
course.
Ryan.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I ain't hating, man. I'm saying underrated.
All right, last one, and we'll round. This might be one of our longest episodes today.
Community's going to love it.
Quitting.
You said you got the hard ones out of the way. These are difficult because, like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hot take this. Overrated.
No, I agree. Overrated. 100% overrated.
Yeah.
I think people have grown accustomed to just quitting when things get hard.
I'm sorry.
You're going to say underrated?
I'm going to take a hot take. I'm going to say underrated.
Wow.
I'm going to say quitting's underrated.
All right, well, I disagree with you. Having thought about it a little bit, I would say that in life and society today, we've gotten too comfortable with quitting. And everyone wants to start things, post about it on the internet, and talk about their new endeavor to their friends. But the reality of it is getting what you want in life and any type of goal or sport or business or family, it takes a lot of hard work, and things don't always work out the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th time. They work out the 100th time. And we've gotten way too comfortable with quitting when things get hard. And I think if more people had the fortitude to persevere when those times are dark and cold and lonely and not throw in the towel, I think we would be better off.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you on all that. Do you want my take on underrated?
Let me know why you think underrated.
I think that one of the main reasons that people don't achieve what they truly want, like inside, because everybody has that inside, whether they vocalize it or not, they know what they want for themselves and who they could be. One of the biggest reasons that they don't achieve that thing or become that person is because they refuse to quit. They refuse to quit on their limiting beliefs, their shitty diets. They refuse to quit on the things that don't serve them. They refuse to quit their friendship circles that are holding them back. So to a degree, I'm going to say underrated, because a lot of people are holding on to things that they really need to quit.
Yeah. That was...
So that's a.
I should have known you were going to turn that one on its head. Yeah,
but both are right.
Yeah,
so that's why that makes this one. It makes this one really, really difficult. You know, how many times have, this one, it used to be like, I don't want to say like I really got a kick out of it, but like, it's one of those things that goes around the internet and you like smirk about it or whatever. Especially when you're drinking. Yeah. People are like, oh, like, I don't even know how to say it to be comical, because I just find it so not comical nowadays. Yeah. But like, it's kind of like when they're talking about like drinking beers, and it's like, oh yeah, of course I'm an alcoholic. Like I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
You ever see those memes or whatever? And like back in the day, I'm like,
I may have said that joke in college.
Yeah. Well, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like that is something that needs to be quit for some people, maybe even most people. But all those other things too, like you should be a big giant quitter on the things that don't serve you. And you should commit then to the things that do. So that's my take on it.
That's well said.
This was a fun episode.
No, it was a good episode. Good so.
You got more like Costco boy. What is it? Costco boys?
The Costco guys.
Costco guys inspired ideas.
AJ and Big Justice.
Okay, well listen, AJ and Big Justice.
Yeah, that's the kid, Big Justice.
Okay, yeah, all right. Should have told me that in the beginning. Well, shout out to those guys. I guess we owe them some credit.
Gotta get them on the show. They're hard workers.
I'm sure they're big time.
They're
now,
doing. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure they're big time.
You got anything you want to add to the?
No, I just want to say thank you to you for putting this together. You know me, like I said, I seldomly use fun and humor. So
it reminded me of
this was fun.
Our logo. Brand,
that was fun too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was fun too. So I would also say to the few, if you enjoyed the episode, leave a comment. Let us know you want more of it. Yep. And or send me an email, joey@fuelhunt.com, and let us know if you enjoyed the show, and we'll do more like this.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave the few with a reminder. Always choose hard work over handouts. Always choose effort over entitlement. And remember, no one owes you. No one owns you. You're one of the few. Now let's hunt.